Are you ready?
Are you ready? Are you ready?
All right, everyone, good afternoon. Welcome to the Board of Estimate and Apportionment meeting. Please. Sorry.
Oh.
Welcome to the Board of Estimate and Apportionment meeting. Today is Tuesday, May 6th, 2025. It's now 1:30 p.m. My name is Chantal Pass, Deputy Chief City Auditor. Yes, today we have Lydia Blomberg, our Budget Director, Corey Ellis, our Common Council President, and Sonia Frederick, Public Works Studio. All right, today we have quite a robust agenda. We have 17 budget transfers, 3 for 2024 budget and 14 for our 2025 budget. And we have 2 increased appropriations and 1 legal settlement. Starting with budget transfer request for 2024 budget, we have 1 request from the Police Department in the amount of $3,367 coming from their South Station Furniture and Fixtures line to the South Station Office Equipment line. And this is to cover computer purchases for the incoming crisis caseworkers. Second, we have another transfer request from the Police Department in the amount of $6,045 from their emergency services team other equipment line to their emergency services team contracted services line. And this is to cover invoices previously expensed against incorrect GL account for audit. Last, for our 2024 budget, we have a request from the engineering department in the amount of $3,000 from their central maintenance contracted services line going to their central maintenance supplies and materials line. And this is to cover final invoices for 2024. Now on to our 2025 budget transfer request. First, from the Department of General Services, DGS, we have $10,000 from the street maintenance supplies and materials line to their admin uniforms line, and this is to cover uniform expenses. Second request from the fire department in the amount of $15,000 from their fees and services line to their office equipment line to cover mattress purchases. Next, we have a request from the budget department in the amount of $2,750 from special items contracted services line to the admin services contracted services line. And this is to cover Human Rights Commission expenses that were changed to admin services. Next, we have another request from the budget department in the amount of $500 from the admin services training and conferences going to admin services office equipment line. And this is to cover new employee office space furniture. Next, we have a request from engineering department in the amount of $50,000 coming from your central maintenance contracted services line, and it will be going to 3 different accounts. So first, we have $30,000 to their central maintenance uniforms line, $10,000 to their central maintenance of the equipment line, and another $10,000 to their central maintenance supplies and materials line. And this is to fund unfunded accounts, which would be the uniforms and the other equipment account. And then also to cover additional supplies and material purchases needed. Next request is from the water department in the amount of $50,000 from their sewer maintenance contracted services line, and this will be going to 3 different accounts. First, we have $30,000 to their admin furniture and fixtures line. We have $10,000 to their Beaver Creek facility supplies and materials line, and another $10,000 to their Beaver Creek contracted services line. And this is to cover incoming invoices. Another request also from the water department in the amount of $434,346 from the transmission and distribution contracted services line. This is also going to 3 different accounts. First, we have $410,346 to the transmission and distribution vehicles line, then $4,000 to the transmission and distribution uniforms line, and another $20,000 the transmission and distribution other equipment line, also to cover incoming invoices. The last request from the water department is in the amount of $20,000 from their source of supply power, supplies and materials line, going to their source of supply power with vehicles expense line. And this is also to cover incoming invoices. Next, we have a request from the police department in the amount of $15,000 coming from the admin services admin services salaries line, going to their explosive detective K9 supplies and materials line. This is to allocate funds to the explosive detective K9 NGL account, which was previously unfunded in the budget. All right, so for the next four budget transfer requests, I'm going to ask you to refer to the table that I just handed out. If anyone wants a table, there's one there. So, as you guys all know, APD receives the Gun Involved Violence Elimination Grant, also known as the GIVE grant. It's a grant awarded by New York State as part of their initiative to reduce shooting and firearm-related violence crimes throughout the state. So APD budgeted $1 million in GIVE grant revenue for 2025, but due to some miscommunication, there was misallocation amongst the funds. So if you look at the table, you'll see that it was intended that $990,821 would be allocated to the accounts listed in the first column. But instead, only $725,000 was allocated, which would be in the current column. Of that $725,000, $505 went to the three highlighted accounts. They should not have received any money at all. And then of the two accounts after that, one which totals $117,000 was misallocated to those two accounts. So a total of $677,000 of the $725 that was allocated was misallocated. So for the next three transfer requests, that is being corrected. So that 677 is now being allocated to the correct accounts. And then we also have $265,821, that was not allocated to any GIVE grant accounts at all. It went into APD's general fund accounts. And so now they're correcting that by putting that into the correct GIVE grant accounts. Any questions?
Can you explain a little bit more on the misallocation, like how did it occur and also how it was located?
So from what I was told, APD budget just met a few weeks ago and they addressed this. I'm not quite sure. I don't know if you can give us any.
Well, the majority of this is, so when we go to budget, you'll see here, we kind of just lumped it all into like the top line of the grant, and really they're just sort of spreading it out into the individual units and objects. So it's really just more of a reallocation for the budgeted for to a more detailed level that we don't usually do in the proposed budget.
And so is it that the GIVE funding should not be allocated towards summer help, overtime, etc.? Because the top, she's saying the top three counts
Are not eligible.
were not supposed to.
Yes, yeah, so there was no funds were supposed to go to that account.
Mhm.
So now we're removing all of those funds and then reallocating.
And is that based on the grant requirements?
From what I understand, the APDs, they intended for it to go to these accounts, they never intended it to go to those three accounts.
So for example, the overtime, I mean, so the 400,000 for overtime is just sort of in the top line, and now they're spreading it to each individual program
Okay,
component.
Like
understood.
Salary.
So there was some kind of miscommunication.
So that top line there of, Division 6600, like is the total GIVE grant, and now they're taking that money and spreading it among each individual subunit there, where you see 61, 62, 64,
Yep.
so on and so forth.
and it's 990,000.
So it was, they intended to allocate 990,000 to GIVE grant accounts.
Yes.
But due to some kind of miscommunication, only 725 was allocated to GIVE grant accounts. And the other $265,821 was allocated to general fund accounts. That was not supposed to happen, but due to the miscommunication, it did happen, and so now they're correcting it. I was in communication with Joe, and he said that, going forward, they're working to minimize the occurrence, so. All right. So starting with the first, budget transfer request for police department in relation to the gift grant account, we have $5,000 going from the gift grant summer help line to the gift grant travel expenses line. Again, this is the correct gift grant 2025 allocation. Then we have the second request from the police department of $400,000 from the overtime reimbursable line going to 6 different accounts. First, we have the neighborhood engagement salary. First we have $117,760 going to the neighborhood engagement salaries line, $167,000 going to the gift grant contracted services line, $100,000 going to the gift grant overtime reimbursable line, $7,065 going to the gift grant community engagement supplies and materials line, $2,800 gift grant communication and engagement contracted services line, and $5,375 going to the information coordination salaries line. Again, this is the correct gift grant 2025 allocation. Next request, we have $100,000 coming from the gift grant of the equipment line, going to 3 different gift grant lines. First, $59,973 to the information coordination salaries line, $20,135 to the gift grant community and engagement overtime reimbursable line, and then $19,892 going to the gift grant prevention services overtime reimbursable line. This is to correct gift grants 2025 applications. And then the next transfer, we have a total of $265,821 coming from 13 general fund lines, 30 APD general fund lines, going to we have 5 gift grant lines. So first, we have $10,000 coming from the South Station Furniture and Fixtures line, another $10,000 from the Central Station Furniture and Fixtures line, $5,000 from the Forensic Investigation Contracted Services line, $5,000 from the Forensic Investigation Supplies and Materials line, $3,000 from the Community Response Supplies and Materials line, $5,000 from the Community Response Other Equipment line, $25,000 from the Chief Training Conferences line, $10,000 from the Chief Contracted Services line, $5,000 from the Office of Professional Standards Fees and Services line, $10,000 from the Training Contracted Services line, $10,000 for the Training Supplies and Materials line, $30,000 from the Training Other Equipment line, $137,821 from the Computer and Tech Contracted Services line, and a total amount of $265,821. And that is going to the 5 lines. First, $51,500 to the Central Station overtime reimbursable line, $51,393 to the South Station overtime reimbursable line, $45,108 to the Prevention Services overtime reimbursable line, $53,646 to the gift grant on fatal shooting overtime reimbursable line, and $64,174 to the Trinity Alliance Contracted Services line. And again, for the total of $265,000.
I have one very minor, just no question. Overtime reimbursable non-fatal shooting, is that just a typo with a question mark, or is that like not?
Yeah, I think that's a typo with a question mark. I'll double check and before I send out here, but that should be it. So I'll definitely get that.
Okay.
All right. The next transfer, okay, this is also to cover the gift grant 2025 application. And then we have another one request from the police department for $144,000 coming from the gift grant contracted services line, to the give grant other equipment line, and this is to cover invoices previously expensed against incorrect GL account per audit.
Mm.
That's all for budget transfers, requests, and questions, comments, and concerns.
Which audit, because there was a couple comments on.
Okay, so whenever so we always audit every voucher that comes in, and a part of the audit is GL verification to make sure
Let's
that.
identify by year.
Yeah, yes,
Okay.
yes, yes.
Thank you.
So now we have two increased appropriations. The first is for the budget department in the amount of $431,100. So that's revenue going to NYSERDA, coming from, sorry, the NYSERDA grant. And it's gonna be expensed against three different accounts, $300,000 to engineering contracted services, $86,100 to engineering renovation of city buildings, and $45,000 to engineering vehicles. This is part of the Clean Energy Community, or CEC combined grants received from New York State Energy Research and Development, or NYSERDA, to cover the implementation of rooftop solar installation, other building improvements, and the purchase of an e-transit vehicle. And the last increase appropriation is for $160,347. This is revenue coming from the LETEC program. It's going to be expensed against our LETEC other equipment line. And this is to recognize the law enforcement technology or LETEC program fund received but not recognized in the 2025 budget.
Do we know where the rooftop solar installation will go
Bill?
for the NYSERDA grant?
Is it signal? Right. You're not,
I don't think it's on this building, I'll just listen, or it's kind
I could ask a question and get back to this.
Just curious.
Okay.
We don't have too many buildings, so.
I don't think this rooftop, it's just for the link, the project over at the old UGS landfill. Next to DGS headquarters, for a solar, right?
Mm,
I don't think it's not rooftop.
it's not rooftop, so, oh,
And then, any questions, comments, concerns? All right, so now we have one legal settlement, for Mitchell Pitcher in the amount of $216, and that's for the claim of illegal toll. Any questions, comments, concerns? Alrighty. Can I have a motion to approve the agenda?
If it's not for rooftop solar, can we just update the comment?
Yes,
there?
definitely.
Otherwise, motion to accept.
Okay.
second,
Let's
40
see.
seconds.
Motion moved by Sonia, our common councilwoman Sonia Frederick, second by Corey Ellis, our common council president. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion to adjourn,
So move.
moved by Barry Sanchez, our city treasurer, seconded by Corey Elliott, our common council president. And that ends the meeting for Board of Estimate and Apportionment, and now hand it over to our solid director. Thank you.
Thank you.
See you guys. Thank you. Thank you for joining us today for the Board of Contract and Supplies meeting. Today is Tuesday, May 6th. Present, we have Gideon Grande, Budget Department, Darius Shumpar, Treasurer, Brett Williams, Corporation Counsel, Howard Boble, City Engineer. The following was offered on behalf of the Albany Water Board. Resolved that the Secretary be authorized and directed to advertise for bids on behalf of the Albany Water Board for the following: Bush Filtration Plant Water Fluoridation Project. Said proposals to be received by the board at a regular meeting to be held Friday, June 6, 2025 at 1:30 p.m. And that each bidder be required to present with the bid a deposit in amount to 5% of the, I missed the whole word, to present with the bid a deposit equal in amount to 5% of the total bid in a bid bond or certified check.
Mr. Goble offered the following, resolved that the secretary be authorized and directed to advertise for bids for the following. City of Albany Central Avenue and Everett Road resurfacing project. Said proposals to be received by the board at a special meeting. To be held on Tuesday, May 29th, 2025 at 1:30 P.M. That each bidder be required to present with a bid a deposit in the amount equal to 5% of the total bid in a bid bond or certified check. The following was offered, resolved that the secretary be authorized and directed to advertise for bids for the following. Tree maintenance and emergency work services for Albany Water Board. Said proposals to be received by the board at a regular meeting to be held Tuesday, May 20th, 2025, 12 P.M. A bid deposit is not required for this project. We'll move on to the opening for the Albany South Community Center. This includes general construction, plumbing, mechanical, and electrical. First is M&C Electrical Solutions. This bid is for general construction. Total bid is $513,600. Bid bond is included. Just put it upside down. Next is Trax Mechanical LLC. Bid bond is included. Total bid $1,180,000. Next, we have Empire Electric New York LLC. Bid bond is included. Total bid is $756,000. Next, we have BPI Piping. Bid bond is included. Total bid is $299,500. Next, we have HM Plumbing, bidding on the plumbing. Bid bond is included. Total bid, $462,300. Next, we have Carey Electric Incorporated, bidding on the electrical contract. Bid bond is included. Okay, bid bond is included. Total bid is $585,000. Next, we have Caruso Electric bidding on all 4 contracts: general construction, mechanical, plumbing, and electric. This is the electric. This is E1. This is okay. Bid bond is included. Total bid $585,750. That's this. Next, we have Colette Mechanical bidding on the plumbing contract. Bid bond is included. Total bid is $346,750. This was on the plumbing contract.
Next, we have T. Lemmy Mechanical Incorporated bidding on the mechanical contract. Bid bond is included. You just started thinking, oh, it's there. No, the bid bond is included, I think that's all it is. Total bid, $931,000. Next, we have AOW for the general contract. General construction contract. Bid bond is included. Bid amount. Total bid, $8,889,800. Next, we have,
Is that correct?
I will post them, I can't repeat it right now. Hewitt Young Electric.
It is inside.
Bid bond is included, thank you. Total bid is $698,000. Next, we have D. Giselle Mechanical bidding on the mechanical contract. Total bid, $916,000. Bid bond is included. Last but not least, VMJR. Bid bond is included, that's fine. Let me say which one that would be. General. VMJR bidding on the general construction contract, $6,250,000. Alright. Mr. Goble offered the following, resolve that the bid of the following named bidder be accepted and the contract awarded to them at and for the prices specified in their proposal, they being the lowest qualified bidder and theirs being the lowest qualified bid, and that the mayor be authorized to sign a contract on behalf of the city. The project is Albany on Paul Roadway striping project 2025. The bidder is Straight Line Industry, responsible low bidder. Bid amount, base bid, $254,800. Mr. Daly offered the following, resolve that the bid of the following named bidder be accepted and the contract awarded to them at and for the prices specified in their proposal, they being the lowest qualified bidder and theirs being the lowest qualified bid, and that the mayor be authorized to sign the contract on behalf of the city. Project title, Washington Park Playground Site Work, bidder, Carver Construction Incorporated. Bid amount, $796,174. Mr. Daly offered the following, resolve that the bid of the following named bidder be accepted and the contract awarded to them at and for the prices specified in their proposal, they being the lowest qualified bidder and theirs being the lowest qualified bid, and that the mayor be authorized to sign the contract on behalf of the city. Project title, Lincoln Park Pool Improvements to Existing Bathhouse, General Construction, Jerson Construction Group, in the amount for $576,000. Mr. Goble offered the following, resolve that the increase in the amount of $36,127.61 change order number 2 be made to the City Hall roof replacement project, contract 9345. The new contract value will be $7,554,990.70. There is no change in the contract terms. That concludes our reading of the agenda. May I have a motion to? Darius, all in favor?
Aye.
Motion to adjourn?
Bye.
Aye.
Who's the second?
Darius.